Sectioning for this cut is very simple. It's a rectangle on top of the head. We use the parietal ridge as a focus point and then straight across the center crown. And then I built a triangle off of that, which you can see that point of the triangle goes down to the occipital bone, which is where we're going to start taking our first parting. So we take our first parting slight diagonal forward just to kind of get that movement in the direction. Plus a diagonal parting is a lot easier to work with than a vertical. It's just more comfortable. So as I work across the head shape, I'm going to be working in a slight diagonal forward, working straight out from the head. So the most part, we're working 90 degrees straight out. And then you could see that my finger kind of tucks its way down. I'm tucking my finger because the head shape is shifting that way. I want to keep it at 90 degrees. It keeps a nice seamless feel to the layering. The only buildup of weight that's happening is right at that top occipital bone area, which is where the head shape starts to curve away. That's where you get that buildup of weight, which is great. We want a little bit of weight buildup in the crown area. So now I'm working with a traveling guide. I work all the way around the head shape. No over directions really happening. It's just slightly back to the previous. The reason for that is I want to create that nice seamless feel around the head shape and working those round layers. So everything's coming out. It's giving a very seamless feel. The weight's not being pushed or shifted anywhere. And this is going to create a nice base platform for the top of the haircut. That's going to really be what this haircut's all about, is creating a symmetrical feel so that the haircut can work its way back and forth and you can wear it in a lot of different ways. So we just work our way all the way across. You can see it gets a little bit longer towards the front temple area. That's just a natural kind of feel for me as I'm working around the head shape. I like to keep a little bit of length in the front. And now the biggest difference on the right-hand side is that my fingers are pointed down. The reason I choose to point my fingers down is so that my combing stays consistent. As I worked the left-hand side of the haircut, the entire time I was combing all of the new section. Any parting I took the new hair and I pushed it towards the guide. So I want to do the same thing on the right-hand side as well. So I take my parting and I comb the new hair towards the guideline. This keeps all of the weight distribution in your haircut consistent. A lot of people, when they first start cutting hair, they end up with one side longer than the other. And a lot of the times this has nothing to do with necessarily losing your guide. It's just how you're combing the hair to the guide. And if you start pushing your guide away, then you start creating a shorter side of the haircut, and then one side ends up longer than the other. So you want to make sure that that consistency is in the combing. The combing is the hardest part of hair cutting. The cutting part is easy. So you want to make sure that you stay consistent, keep the structure in there, take small sections, and work your way around the head. So we're just finishing up the side. You can see I really want you to focus on how thick those sections are that I'm taking. I could rush it. I could grab all that hair and condense it and pull it all together. But what would happen is it would completely change the consistency of the shape. It would push a lot more weight forward. So what I'm doing is just grabbing half-inch section by half-inch section, working my way around the head and getting that consistent result. You can see naturally it's over-directed back a little bit, so we get a little bit of length. Now I'm going to go through and cross-check. Somebody said something on a previous video, made a comment about cross-checking. Totally want to show this more often, show you guys what it's all about. So we went diagonal forward through the entire haircut. So now I'm going to go diagonal back and just cross-check it and make sure that the lengths are exactly where I want it. You shouldn't be cutting much when you cross-check. If you go through and it looks like there's a lot of weight in one area, then go back through the way that you originally cut it, fix it, and then go back through and cross-check it again. You can see as I cross-check it, I'm just dusting the ends, not really changing too much in the haircut. Now I'm going to do a flat wrap blow dry. What I like to do is just see the consistency in the weight, because a lot of times when you see hair wet, it lies to you a little bit. It looks a lot better than it does when it's dry. So I want to make sure that the weight distribution is right. So I go through, I flat wrap it, blow it dry, and then I go in and cut the top. It's also a good technique because you're going to blow dry the head anyways. So I blow dry it nice and smooth, and now when I finish the top, all I have to do is blow dry the top. So you're doing the steps a little bit different, but you're taking just as many steps as you go through it. So now I've got my Donald Scott twist. This is a really cool razor. It's got a 100% cutting side and a 25% cutting side. So if you want to add texture to a haircut, you flip it and you can do some texturizing. Right now I'm using the 100% carving side to go through and just cut. Now, what makes this a versatile top and makes it so you can flip it back and forth is that we're going to cut it, bring everything over directed to one side, cut it at the length that I want. So I grab a little bit of guideline from the opposite side, the underneath that I cut already, and I do a heavy stroke with the razor, which gives me a lot of texture, a lot of movement, and nice soft layers. over direct everything over to me, and then I do the same thing on the opposite side, taking that section, bringing it over to me, and cutting it at a guideline. So we create a different guide on each side, and then we go through over directing everything over. What this is doing is building up the heaviest point in the very center of the cut. So you'll see, you can actually kind of see that V forming in the very front of the haircut. That's because we pushed all that weight to the center, and that's what makes this cut and this technique so unique. Now we're going to use our Bricado. This is the Cloud9 Blowout Serum. I really love this product. It's nice and light, so I just want to really smooth out the hair, have a little bit of hold to it, give that shine, and then we'll go in with a texture product at the end. So just blow drying, giving it a little bit of lift. You can see I'm using a vent brush instead of a paddle brush. This one I want to have a little bit of volume in the top, so allowing that air to kind of get under the brush. A lot of people use the same brush for everything. You want to make sure that your brush goes with your technique. So right now I want to not put as much tension on the hair, go through nice and light, build in that volume. And now I'm using the VibraStraight iron, which vibrates as it irons, which is such a cool feature because it allows less damage on the hair, helps kind of separate the hair as it vibrates over it, so you're getting it smoother faster. It's just a really cool iron. I love using that tool. So just smoothing out the very front, you'll notice I didn't have to run the iron over everything. I smoothed it with the brush, and then I just polish out that front fringe area. And now the finishing touch is our Carve. This is Bricado Texture Icing, so it's just a real texture cream. And I put that throughout the hair, brush it into the hair a little bit, and just really show off all that texture that we created with the razor and the precision feel to the bottom. Hope you guys like this cut. Definitely, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. I enjoy you guys sticking with it throughout the entire video. All right, guys, like always, if you liked this haircut, then hit that like button, hit the share button, share this video with all of your hairdresser friends out there, or anybody that you think might like this haircut. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you get all the alerts whenever I put out a video. And last but not least, if you haven't become a part of our FSE partnership program, make sure that you click that link below to get more information. It's $19.99 a month. You get live classes and also put on our live salon locator so that people that watch these videos that want cuts like these and are inspired by these haircuts can go find your salon out there as well. So you get the online training, you get discounts in our shop, and you get put on the FSE salon locator. So many benefits to it. We're also adding special guest artists to the online classes as well. So make sure you check it out online. Remember, like I said, click that link below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Thanks. And guys, remember, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button below because you could win this VibraStraight iron. Good luck. Let me know in the comments below if you've subscribed. Thanks.